Hi, I'm Ben Hovland, Chairman of the U.S. Election Assistance Commission, or EAC. This is the first of 3 webinars that will assist the state and local election officials who complete the 2020 Election Administration and Voting Survey, or EVES. 2020 has been an unprecedented election year, and on behalf of the entire EAC, I want to thank all the election officials who are watching this webinar for serving America's voters. Now that the ballots for the 2020 general election have been cast, the EAC is launching the EVES to gather data that will help us tell the story of the 2020 election from the election administration perspective. EVES is the most comprehensive source of election administration data in the United States and will help us understand how election administrators rose to the challenge of coordinating a federal election in the midst of the coronavirus pandemic and how voters cast their ballots. The EAC and our implementing partner, Forrs Marsh Group, have been hard at work preparing this survey for months and stand ready to assist you with any questions you have about the EVES project. Thank you for participating in this important nationwide data gathering effort.
Hi, I'm Dr. Nichelle Williams, Director of Research with the U.S. Election Assistance Commission.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Nielsen. I'm a senior researcher at the Forrs Marsh Group, and I'm excited for another year of EVES.
Hi, I'm Krisha Gregorowitz, a senior researcher at the Forrs Marsh Group, and also looking forward to my 3rd season of EVES with the EAC.
Welcome to the first of 3 webinars for the 2020 EVES cycle. EVES is a federal government survey that collects data following each federal election. EVES involves nearly 6,500 election jurisdictions across all 56 states and territories and the District of Columbia. For more information on why EVES exists, see a guide to the Election Administration and Voting Survey.
Now, if you've been doing EVES for a while, you'll be really happy to hear that a lot about EVES is the same as previous years. After the 2018 survey, we did a series of debriefing calls with 34 states, and that really helped us see what works about EVES and what could be improved.
Here are some of the important changes you'll notice for the 2020 EVES. First, we're beginning data collection earlier. We've heard feedback from some states that they'd appreciate being able to start their working on their data submission immediately after the election. So this year, the data collection templates are available right now. The data deadlines remain the same. The first draft of your data will still be due on February 1st, 2021, and the final certified submission is still due on March 1st, 2021. For this EVES cycle, you'll have more time to compile your data. Second, we'll be providing help desk support earlier as well. Along with the data collection templates, we will be providing part-time help desk support by phone and email for states that want to work on their data submissions in November and December. The help desk will expand to full-time in January 2021. This help desk is the place to go if you have any questions about the EVES questions, your data collection templates, project deadlines, or anything else.
A third important change you'll notice is improved error checks in our data collection templates. These will make them better at helping you identify and correct potential issues in your data. Now, we've taken away some of the errors that cause a lot of confusion and frustration in 2018, and we've retooled the remaining error checks to better highlight how your survey items should match up with each other and with the policy survey. A last change that you'll notice is more instructions in the templates. We have heard your requests to provide more instructions, especially in the Excel template, and we've also introduced a series of contextual instructions to help you better understand when to respond does not apply, data not available, or 0 in your EVES data.
While EVES largely looks the same as in previous years, there have been a few changes made to the survey questionnaire. In Section A, which covers voter registration activity, we've added sub-questions to A2, the item that asks about the number of same-day registrations. Previously, A2 asked only about the total number of same-day registrations. For 2020, this item has been divided into same-day registrations that occur on Election Day versus those that occur during the early voting period. This will help EAC understand how and when same-day registrations are used and the impact of those laws. In Section B, which covers uniformed and overseas citizens absentee voting, we've added a sub-item to the question series about the federal write-in absentee ballot, otherwise known as the FWAB. In 2018, this question series only asked about FWABs that were rejected because they were received late or because they were replaced by a regular absentee ballot. There was nowhere to report rejections that did not fall into those specified categories, and as a result, the question series didn't always add up correctly. For 2020, we've added question B27 to this series, which allows you to report FWABs that were rejected for other reasons. The first question in Section D, which asked about total votes cast, has been removed. This item was redundant with question F1, which asked about total participation, and that created confusion. Question D1 has been completely removed from that section, so Section D now focuses exclusively on in-person voting and polling place activities. Note, the remaining questions have been renumbered. Throughout the survey, instructions have been clarified to provide better understanding of how data should be reported and what is or is not included in particular items. Look back at the first newsletter from 2020 for more information about the instruction changes that have been added. We looked through the questions that came in through the help desk in 2018 and solicited feedback from those who reported or utilized these data. In areas that created confusion, we added instructions with additional detail about what particular questions we're asking or what terms being used meant.
Now let's talk a little bit about the ways that you submit your EVES data. So we make 2 data collection templates available for states and jurisdictions to use. The first is our Excel template. This is going to be used by all states and territories to submit their data to the EVES project team. This Excel template is a flat file data format. It has each EVES item in a column of the spreadsheet, and each EVES jurisdiction within your state or territory is listed in a row in the Excel template. This will help you copy and paste data in any way that it's convenient for you. Our second data collection template is the online template, which can be used to enter in EVES data item by item. This is primarily intended for local jurisdictions to help contribute EVES data to their state or territory office. This year, we've done user testing of the online template, and that has really helped us improve the functionality of this survey. Now, the online template can be customized by the state or territory. It can be customized to only show certain sections of the survey, or it can be pre-filled with data from your state or territory's centralized database. Now, if you want to customize the online template before your jurisdictions begin taking it, please contact the EVES Technical Support Desk. These customization requests will take about 5 to 7 business days to fulfill, so make sure you accommodate for that in your scheduling. Now, this has just been a brief view at our 2 data collection templates. There is a lot more detail and a lot more functionality that we just can't cover in this one video, but we've put together a written user guide for you to consult as you're doing your data collection. Please see the data collection user guide that's available on the resources page of the EVES portal.
Each state has its own method for completing EVES, but the process generally looks like this. State points of contacts, or POCs, and jurisdictions where applicable, work to collect their data and enter it into the data collection templates. Once complete, the state POC submits the data to the EVES project team through the Excel template. This is done by February 1st, 2021. The EVES team reviews state data, flags issues for further review and discussion, and the EVES team and the state work to address identified data issues. States finalize data and certify for data accuracy, and this is done by March 1st, 2021. Once data collection is complete, the EVES team analyzes the data and creates a report that is sent to Congress. The report and EVES data are also released publicly.
We know EVES can be a challenging survey to complete, so we provide resources and support throughout the process. The EVES portal is your one-stop shop for all your EVES needs. There, you'll find a PDF with all the survey questions, the newly updated EVES policy document, which outlines what data is being collected, the process and timeline for data submissions, how EAC reports results and maintains and releases data to the public, and other information important for election officials responsible for reporting EVES to understand. You'll also find a series of videos. The closer look videos help you understand each section of the survey. This webinar, as well as others focused on new EVES points of contact and points of contact in states that work heavily with local jurisdictions, are also available in the portal. Each of this year's EVES newsletters, which had been emailed out to all EVES points of contact, are also available on the portal, as well as a guide for data collection templates. Behind the login page on the EVES portal, you'll find Excel data templates for use in state submissions, an Excel file that aggregates data submitted through the online template, and passwords for local jurisdictions to use in order to access the online template. We've also provided data and documentation from previous EVES for reference. Finally, technical support is available throughout the EVES process. Part-time through the end of December, and then full-time starting in January. You can always contact the help desk by email at eavs@forsmarshgroup.com or at the help desk phone number.
Now we have a few helpful hints with the 2020 EVES data submission. Take a look at your data submission, data review memo, and other materials from past surveys to guide your 2020 submission. See what you have had trouble with in the past and how you can improve in 2020. The EVES team can send you these materials if you need them.
My helpful hint for state points of contact is make sure that you read all the questions and all the instructions before you begin submitting any of your data or inputting it into the templates. The instructions have a lot of helpful context and definitions that you'll need to know in order to make sure that your data is matching up with the EVES items. There's especially instructions about how to use data not available, does not apply, and zero in your EVES data. Now, also, when you're in doubt about anything related to EVES, please contact technical support. We really do want to hear from you about any issues that you're having, and we're in a position to be able to identify issues that are happening across multiple states or territories and issue specialized guidance. We really want to hear about any challenges you're having, and we are going to work with you to solve them.
Take time to make sure your data are complete and accurate. EVES is used by academics, the media, the public, elected officials, and others who want to understand better how elections are administered in America. EAC and FMG will work with you and help you submit the highest quality data possible.
Thank you for watching. The EAC is excited that EVES is underway. I encourage you to visit the EVES portal for more information and for states to submit their data and contact technical support with any questions about EVES.